are in Arlington. Charles, Mark Davis, welcome. How are you?
Good morning. I'm sure you're planning to get to the story. What did you think of that story about the far-left reporter, Laura Jadid, that applied for ICE, barely had any kind of background check done on her? They barely vetted her, and she got a position with ICE. But I'm sure that was a one-off and not the norm, right?
It's 100% not the norm. And this, somewhat constructively, and thank you, look at you, here you are, because last time we spoke, you suggested that ICE was just wantonly welcoming all manner of unqualified, unvetted people. Will you be able to find?
That's what they are doing.
Well, you failed then and will fail now at making that point. Will you be able to find an occasional anecdotal example of somebody that might not have should have been through the door? That's true at every police force. It's true in the military. It does happen. So I guess what it would take in order to paint some picture that I think you want to paint of a horribly underqualified, untrained ICE force is to show me something you think is happening at the hands of untrained people. Do you have an example?
Does it bother you that you have to say what
No. I'm sorry. Do you have an example? You got to answer the question. I'm really sorry. There are rules. Do you have an example? Is there some visual, some image, some event, some news story that would bolster your belief that ICE is weighted down by horribly unqualified officers? Make that case.
All I got to do is watch videos on Twitter for 5 minutes.
Which one?
I could make.
Which would you say that do you believe that the shooting of Renee Good constitutes that?
How about when with Renee Good, someone identified themselves as a doc? How about when someone identified themselves as a doctor,
right,
and they wouldn't let that and I know you said to me the other evening, well, how did they know that they were a doctor?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm sure protocol in that case is just to leave someone either dead or dying in the car.
Do you know what protocol is in that case? Do you know what protocol is in cases like this? Well, I'll be darned. Look, now we're making progress. It is to allow the officials that you do know and the EMTs that you do know to reach the scene and not let randos get access to people who may be in danger. So glad to be of help.
Even if the officials there's no end in sight as to when they'll be there.
Well, there was at the time and there was some knowledge as to what their mindset was. They didn't know exactly what you bet. It's a tough situation. They did not know how long it would take for people. And do you know what was impeding the arrival of some of those emergency units? Crazy rioters. Rioters and protesters, precisely. Hey, look, so we're making progress all around. Go ahead.
Speaking of mindset, what do you think of the mindset of I forget the guy's last name, but what do you think of the mindset of what he said after she was shot? Effing bitch.
That is correct.
That's
and
a good mindset.
What mindset would you have? You just been hit by a car. Fair point.
Right.
Exactly right. Yep. Exactly. So now this has been interesting. Look, you and I can spend a couple of constructive minutes together. It's great. So, and I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here, and I think my limit is there. Alrighty, 866-660-5759. Pranksters turned into constructive calls. Look at that. It's like alchemy going on here. Right. And let's do this. Are we going to do anything with Iran? Trade